And welcome to the next devlog. This is the end update. An end update for Rune Venture. Gonna be some good clickbait right there. So, I'm here to show you guys what we've got brewing. As you might see, we've got some beautiful aesthetics. And this is all because the Ender Dragon fight has been leveled up to level 11. I am telling you. But there is good reason for this, and that is because the Ender Dragon has been given some beautiful new loot. You see, there is now a tier above Netherite called Enderite, and it's something you can only get from fighting the dragon. So, so let's show you guys what that's all about at the end of the video. First, I want to show you guys this awesome boss fight. Now, I am loaded up, as you can see, with a ton of tomes of Undying, a lot of Ender Pearls and all that. You might not need all that. I'm a little bit washed up, as they call it, not top tier G gamers, but I will give it my best shot and hopefully you guys can enjoy. So getting right into it, we have some beautiful animations. As you see, there are a lot of particle effects and there are even more to come. I will say, if you do not have a beefy computer, you might want to turn down your particle effects for this boss fight. All right, well, the way to get started, obviously, is as normal, to be able to break the ender crystals. Now, you might notice some cages up on top of them. It certainly makes it more difficult, but in some ways, it makes it easier. Because you cannot build or break blocks here on the end island, otherwise the island would end up incredibly cluttered for all new players. Which is why having the ender pearls here is so important. And yeah, so let's toss up on top of this first one. Boop, oh, happened to get right in. You see, the ender pearls thing, sometimes you can glitch through them, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty much just try and get first on top of the one. And I will say, actually, I'm doing a voiceover right now. Since this video was recorded, I have, gotcha. I have actually been able to update some of the towers. So in the distance, you might notice that there are some little spots on the edge of the towers that have some extra blocks for you to be able to hop onto. And that's still there in the new version. In fact, it's actually expanded upon to be able to allow you to have these perches to essentially throw your ender pearls on top of and try to go up the towers bit by bit, which is extremely helpful, as those particle spheres are actually indicative of some effects that the dragon has. The dragon is protecting his crystals and he is using these blinding ones. So the black ones that we showed earlier, that one gives blindness. Off in the distance, did my ender pearl go right inside? Oh man, that's really lucky. All right, so as far as other particle effects, let's see here. You have these shield ones. It's not technically particles, but you have revolving shields to try help defend them. You have those look like flames. Yep, and those will catch you on fire if you're up inside the sphere. Then there's also the green ones. Those ones give you poison. And somewhere around here, there is a white particles, and that will give you a freezing effect and give you some damage. So there's lots of different things. It's a lot easier to be able to use your bow, shoot off all the crystals from a distance best you can. Not much about the Ender Dragon fight has really changed until the very end, where you have to actually just sort of floating thing up from the crystal to be able to kill him, or from the portal area to kill him. It's pretty straightforward. You break the crystals, you shoot the dragon, you have a good time with it. I try to make sure that while there's still a lot more going on than you would expect in your regular vanilla Ender Dragon fight, it's still intuitive. There's not much more difficulty about it. Anyways, there is something that I'm very glad about, which is the music. Made some boss music, which you aren't enjoying yet, but here you go. Here's a little sampler of the boss music for this fight. There's only one left. Come on, before the freezing gets me. Come on. Got it. All right, one crystal left. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Got it. All right, all the crystals are destroyed, as it says right there. Let's get out of here. All right. Time to take on the Ender Dragon himself. Hello. Jump. Now, I have to admit, I'm not actually the one who made the music. That goes to Resonant Tonality. You can find his channel or their channel, I don't know, in the description below. They made a song called Elder Guardian Minecraft Boss Theme. It is fire. I have an entire playlist of music, most of it from them. And that is because they do some incredible boss fight music. I really like the orchestra chanting style of boss music like that because it gives a sense of just pure epic proportions. Now, here's a little look. Yeah, we did a little skip there. Here's a little look at the Ender Dragon fight. This is after some testing. I did some playtesting with some friends, and we were like, all right, the Ender Dragon, it gives you crazy rewards. Like the Enderite stuff, you'll see at the end of the video. It is bonkers powerful. But you see all this fire stuff, and this just sticks around for so long. You see I have an entire canopy here. And we ended up deciding that because it lasted so long, we had to, shorten that down. Basically in the end, we ended up nerfing the dragon a little bit. He had a lot extra smash attacks he would do. He had longer fire attacks. That explosion attack, that was a lot bigger. I will say that. And so, yeah, the fight took us like 4 people, all stacked up with enchanted golden apples, totems of undying. Actually, no, steak, totems of undying, netherite armor, all that stuff. And we all just kept dying and dying and dying. And it's like, all right, when you're doing game design, there's such a difficult balance. You have either, easy mob, easy difficulty, easy rewards. You have a very low challenge, you don't get great rewards out of it. All right. Well, on the opposite side, you have a really big challenge, something very difficult, but because it was so difficult, you get incredible rewards for. And I was trying to make the Enderite just super overpowered. It was supposed to be this like, netherite plus, right? This nearly indestructible if you're wearing it. But to be able to get it, you have to be a nearly indestructible Ender Dragon. Ha ha ha. I gotta make this Ender Dragon so fun and big, right? But it just took away from fun, right? While I'm designing it, oh yeah, it was tons of fun. The code, punch in, oh yes, explosion that covers the entire end island. Ha ha ha. It's just fun creating these monstrosities. But then the players, they're like, dude, this sucks, And you really gotta find a balance, and that's a lot of what I'm trying to do with the dungeons. Which, yes, if you're here for a dungeons update on the devlog because you follow me on Discord and know that we're gonna do that, I am still doing that. Don't worry, the devlog's coming up. It's probably gonna come out next week, anyways. So just trying to do that balancing with things. This Ender Dragon, we end up having to nerf it a lot, which also in turn means that we end up nerfing the Enderite armor a little bit. Enderite armor was supposed to give you all these extra buffs, like 1 in a million. And, now it is a little bit less powerful. It's still a huge upgrade from netherite. But, it's still really difficult to beat the Ender Dragon. Even as much as I nerfed him, I ended up using a Datapack called True Ending. You can find it on Modrinth. And, I'll also put that in the description below. But anyways, I ended up tinkering with some of their values. They didn't have toggleable settings in their settings command for everything. And so your boy had to go through and learn some Datapack coding just to get things, rolling with a little bit less probabilities of doing dive attacks, especially because those dealt a lot of damage. And unfortunately, I couldn't actually change the amount of damage that the dive attacks did at all, which is really, whatever, only so much you can do about it. So I just decreased the chances of doing it because when the dragon was on low health, or he was at the point where he's like, doing the perching kind of thing, he would just perch and then do a dive attack and then perch and then do a dive attack. So as soon as you try to get close to be able to do melee attacks against him, deal some damage since he's invulnerable to arrows at that point, you just do a dive attack and you have to jump over that, dodge it, or it deals tons of damage. And we also, you just saw it earlier, I totally missed it on my cue. But that big laser attack where I went and hid behind the tower and you just went, that was awful. I really hope that doesn't turn out as badly as on the other side as that sounded. Anyways, I actually increased the chance of doing that because it deals 24 damage for every single firework. It just goes kablooey, obliterates you instantly. But it's so easy to dodge. He flies up way in the air. Then he starts super close to himself, and he's already in his flying time because he's not doing that while he's perched. And so, he goes up in the air, he starts a little bit, super close, spreads out. You have so much time to use Ender Pearl or just run behind a pillar. I was like, dude, this is perfect for a good boss fight. It's essentially a pause. That's what I think of it. It's an invulnerable period where you can't damage him at all, but Also, he's dealing massive AoE damage, but only in a specific slow manner such that you can get out of the way and you can heal. And as I play a lot of games like Enter the Gungeon, Minecraft Dungeons, that game, I love Hades. I like to play a lot of these games. And one thing I really notice is breaks, pauses in the fight. Not everybody necessarily likes them, but I personally think that they are very helpful towards the overall enjoyment of a fight, that I tend to include them pretty much wherever I go. Since I'm really not overall a fan of the idea of checkpoints for boss fights, because to me that really breaks a lot of the immersion of it. Like, oh man, I get loaded back to a checkpoint. Hey, a game comes up with like a lore reason for why you're able to jump back, 5 minutes in time or restart a boss fight partway through. Cool, you got a lore reason, it's dope. And pause to my little narration. If I can manage to survive, holy crap. All right, crowd the totems. So here's what I was talking about, trying to go up from the portal area, is that when you basically kill the Ender Dragon, he's just going to float up, do these massive rings of particles, and you have to get into the portal area. It'll give you levitation, you float up, and you kill it. Anyways, back to the main thing. So, I'm not a huge fan of checkpoints. And so that's why I think having little pauses to be able to heal or to be able to do stuff, so that when you get restarted from the very start of the fight, because, hey, you died, it's not quite as frustrating because, hey, you weren't having to dodge constantly, right? You had some chances. But yeah, this is still, a very difficult fight, which is why you can see there is so much XP. I went from like level 0, and frankly, I can't even read the screen right now. It's so blurry while I'm trying to do this voiceover, but I end up with like 80 levels, and that's crazy amount. Obviously that gets shared amongst all the people who helped kill the dragon. But here's the biggest thing: the dragon heart. This dragon heart is how you do all the fancy stuff that I am about to show you. We're now here, and we're gonna go ahead and go back into our little secret area, because with this dragon heart that I just collected, we can do some crazy stuff. All right, and for it, we're just gonna hop into creative mode, show you guys what it's all about. Let's go. Hello. All right, so we grabbed a couple items, and yeah. All right, we're gonna go over to the crafting. With your dragon heart, you're just gonna surround it in netherite scraps like so, and you will get 4 raw enderite. And just like the netherite scraps to netherite, you're gonna do this, and now you have a enderite ingot. We're just gonna copy that and use it to make our armor. So we're gonna go ahead and make a full set of armor with all of this. Boop, 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 bop, bop. And yeah, let's swap out. You might notice I move a little bit faster. I jump a little bit further. I can reach all the way over there, which is definitely a little bit further than normal. This armor, the enderite armor, yeah, it gives you a whole bunch of fun stats. Like, this thing is genuinely insane. It's well worth the fight. I mean, you have to kill Ender Dragon like what, 24 times to be able to get a full set of enderite armor, but it really is worth it in the end. But it doesn't get just there. It doesn't stop there. You see, wardens, they drop ectoplasm, and withers, of course, drop nether stars. And did you know that you can make a elder guardian like so with white terracotta and a block of lapis lazuli? We're just gonna kill this thing real quick, and from it we get a heart of the sea. You see, hearts of the sea are no longer in the buried treasure, but instead they are dropped by elder guardians. And you're gonna go ahead and go to your crafting table. So in our crafting table, we're going to need power crystals, which use charoite. It also uses azurite and blaze powder to get those. You then use them in a configuration like so with regular gold ingots. You get infused gold. With the infused gold, then you'll drop in a dragon heart, another star, a heart of the sea, and an ectoplasm to get empowered enderite. With empowered enderite, you then can create empowered enderite armor. Of course. But what makes empowered enderite armor so much better? Well, I'll tell you, it's not the fact that it gives you all the same bonuses that your regular enderite armor gives you. It's not even the fact that it also gives you +2 damage and also plus more safe falling speed and it gives you faster mining speed also, it's the fact that it has fusions. So if you're new to the whole server and Rune Venture and everything, we have power items. So I could get, for example, hither, right? And this sword, when I shift left click with it, will do a little slash ability. But you can actually combine them. So if I get items get saving grace, let's say, you can then add it. Oop, I gotta be in survival. You can then add it to this weapon. So it's now fused, and now I can also right click to do the saving grace ability on this. But you can also get armor augments. So for example, negate evil. And I'll go ahead and attach that to my chest plate like so. And now when I'm not even holding an item, I can just right click and it'll do the negate evil ability. Each one has a augment slot. So you could attach 4 different abilities. Let's say, you want to do support abilities. You have 4 different support abilities. Then you're also holding, your saving grace one, like so. And boom, you can do like 5 abilities all at once with one right click. You can get some really crazy ability combos. So that's what this thing's all about. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys all in the next devlog. Bye!